Hi guys, and welcome back to Down the Farm. Today we're looking at the one big league club north of the border with the Toronto Blue Jays. Our journey starts in Low A with the Dunedin Blue Jays, who play just outside of Tampa, Florida. I like this team's logo and on the field look, even if it just means that I like how the big league franchise looks, but I'm okay with that because they play at the franchise's spring training home of TD Ballpark. One nitpick I do have with the team is that the St. Lucie Mets, who find themselves in an identical situation to, is they take their Mets logo and beach it up a little bit. I wish the Dunedin franchise would do something similar, but they have a solid look, and it's something I'm okay with at this level in this exact circumstance. Up to high A we go to Vancouver, British Columbia with the Vancouver Canadians. I think my biggest issue with the Canadians is that their branding and logos feel more on the nose than that weird part of the field sobriety test that I'm never going to take because I've never finished adult beverage. Their primary white and red uniforms feel something more like what Team Canada would wear in the World Baseball Classic instead of a minor league baseball team in Vancouver, Canada. And listen, this isn't the first time that I've ripped a team for being too nationalized instead of localized. If you go back and look at my review of Major League Cricket, I ranked the Washington Freedom dead last for being too much America instead of representing that local Virginia, Alexandria area. To me, the best visual of Vancouver sports for a long time has been the BC Lions because I felt that their orange and black better represent the Pacific Northwest, certainly more so than the nationalistic red and white of the Canadian national flag. And listen, I can appreciate how important it is that the Vancouver Canadians are the only minor league team that plays in Canada, but I stand by my belief that minor league branding is at its best when it tells you something about the local area or region that the team is from. Up to Double A we go to New Hampshire with the New Hampshire Fisher Cats that play out of Manchester, New Hampshire. If you're smarter than me, you probably didn't have to look up the fact that the Fisher Cat isn't a member of the feline family, but is rather a tree-dwelling member of the weasel family. The most interesting thing to me about the Fisher Cats is actually their name origin. When the team went to move from Connecticut to New Hampshire in 2003, the owners originally wanted to call the team the New Hampshire Primaries, but fans successfully petitioned the team, and in the following polling, while the Fisher Cats team name won with just over 24% of the vote, the most interesting thing to me was the fact that the name Primaries finished dead last, 5 out of 5 with under 10% of the vote, showing that they weren't quite ready for the general election. The team has solid visuals. The navy and red is tried and true. Their primary logo features that animal eyes behind the word mark thing that just reminds me of the neighbor Wilson from the TV show Home Improvement from the 1990s. The word mark is whimsical yet modern. They use it on their uniforms to great effect. I just wish the team would use it a little bit more silver, but overall, to me, the Fisher Cats are a solid B+ AA team. They picked a regionalized team name, they picked solid colors, and they executed it fairly well. They just don't do anything exceptionally well for me. Up to AAA we go to Buffalo, New York with the Buffalo Bisons. From the outside looking in, the story of the Buffalo Bisons might be Salem Field, their home ballpark, which has the largest capacity in all of minor league baseball at over 16,000 fans, and it is the ballpark that hosted the Toronto Blue Jays during the 2020 and 2021 COVID restrictions. But to me, the real story of the Buffalo Bisons is their fans and that fan support. Without the fan support, the oversized Salem Field would just be a cavern of failure. The fan support is the reason why the Bisons hold an unbreakable single-season attendance record set back in 1991. And that fan support matters way more than anything that I'll have to say over the next 60 seconds. I think the team name and colors were really smart choices. Nothing wrong with being little brother to Bills Mafia just down the road, especially considering how strong the fan support for that team is. I mean, heck, they're called Bills Mafia for a reason. Their jerseys are simple and clean, and I think their best detail is the extra jut on that underline. It's just a little bit something extra to just grab your attention. I do wish they were a bit bolder, but given that I asked AAA uniforms to be clean and simple, I can't knock them too much. I think my biggest knock for this team is how flat that primary logo is. I don't mind if these animal logos aren't super detailed, but they have a buffalo that's freaking batting. They need a little bit more detail if they're going to humanize it that much. The flat logo can work if the animal's simple and still like they are on the Buffalo Bills helmet, but that buffalo isn't dropping back to throw a pass. But it's also entirely possible that I've dropped the ball on this one, and I don't appreciate the flat retro look enough. So I'm going to punt this back to the Bisons fan and ask you guys, do you guys like the flat retro look, or do you like the bolder, more popular look they had before? Let me know down in the comment section, and until next time, I'll see you guys around.